Alright, YouTube, making a video on my P-47, 800mm, well I guess it's 750mm really, but it's the 800mm Warbird series by Airfield. I got this off of nitroplanes.com. I got the silver version because it was like, I don't know, $5, $10 less. And, you know, it's the same exact plane for $5, $10 less. You might as well go for it because there's no reason to pay more money for the same plane just because you like the paint scheme better on the other one. Unless you really hate this paint scheme, and then maybe you could, but as you can see, there is actually a lot of detail on this. Like, they still have the panel lines and everything, just like if you guys watched my video on my 1400mm P-47. It's basically got all those panel lines and all that detail still in it. The only thing that's not there is the propeller is 3-bladed and not 4-bladed. But then again, this plane has a propeller and my other one has a broken propeller, so it doesn't really matter to me as long as it flies. And then some things you might notice when you get this plane, or if you get this plane, these wheels, I mean, they're rubber, they're nice wheels, but they're just, this feels like it should be a little bit longer because you look, there's not a lot of clearance there on the belly, and also on the prop there's really not a lot of clearance. Like, you'd come, if you hit the prop, you came in with a nose down attitude, so it'd be your fault, but it doesn't give you a lot of room for error. And so far I've done pretty good. One of these prop blades is scraped a little bit. It's this one, which you probably can't even see because I can't see it on the camera, but there is a tiny chip right there on the propeller blade, and that is the only damage I've done on, I think, 4 or 5 or 6 flights. I can't remember. I have 2 batteries. Here's the battery. It's just a little 800 milliamp Sky Lipo. I always go with 20C. I always go with 20C. I don't know what that even means, so I just go with 20C because it seems to work. Gives the plane plenty of power, and I haven't had a problem with them yet. This is the canopy. That's where you put your battery and stuff, is down in there. It slides into the front. And what I've done is I cut a little bit of foam out of the packing in the box, and I've used that. If you watch Tony's video from Nitro Planes, he'll show you the same thing. And then here's my other battery. I got 2 of them because they're like $4. So I was like, okay, well I might as well give myself like 20 minutes of flight instead of 10, so yeah. And then the tape, I put the tape on there and just kind of put it back to about here on the battery. That way when I slide it in there, I don't have to tug on the wires. That's just not a good thing to do. You don't want to tug on the wires a whole bunch because long term that will eventually break the wires and then you'll be screwed. And then this, I cut the pilot out of my canopy, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of my videos from my FPV that I did with this plane, but it worked pretty good. I cut the canopy out right there on the front too, so I've put tape over that because I don't think I'm going to do any more of those videos. I might. I don't know. You guys leave something in the comment box telling me whether you want me to make FPV with this plane anymore, or whether I should just stick with the Skybus flight that I did. I also did this just to let the air go all the way through and not just be pressurized in there. Helped out with the audio on the camera a little bit. And I cut that hole down in all the way in there because I thought maybe that'd give me some more cooling, because right now there's holes for the air to go through on this front here, but there's nowhere for it to come out, not that I could see, except for maybe back here, this right here where the elevator push rod goes. Oh, that's rudder, just kidding. But yeah, same thing on the other side. Wow, that could have been bad. On this, there is a steerable tail wheel. It's just connected to the rudder, which is nice if you have the ability to taxi, which I've already screwed that up multiple times. I taxied it good the first landing, but I haven't been able to do it well since. But anyway, and then I took a silver Sharpie, which just happened to have laying around, and that's where I marked my CG, because I figured silver plane, silver Sharpie, I'm going to be able to see it, but it's not really going to show up at all. And then on the bottom, not very happy about that, but you can see that. I had to color that over with a silver Sharpie as well, because I put my little FPV camera on here, on the wing, and I flew it with it on there, and didn't hit record. So, yeah, that was pretty stupid, but anyway, it didn't fly right at all with that camera there. Just that little bit of drag was enough to throw it completely off balance, and I had to do a bunch of rudder trim and everything. I'll take this prop off. I already loosened up the spinner so I don't fail with that anymore. And then show you how that goes. It's just in a couple of pieces. And then there's the propeller, it's all one piece. And then this, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. There's a little notch there, and it fits on the motor so that it spins. And then what I've done is this. I've made it removable, but it's... Alright, see, so I cut a little slot in there because I was having some trouble pulling it off. But I wanted to be able to take this off. It's glued on to begin with, but if you just work at it enough, you'll get it off. Just give it some time, keep working at it, it'll come off. And then what I've done is, maybe you can see it, there's some pennies in there, there's a penny there, and a penny there. And when I have my FPV camera, I put another couple pennies up there. That's so that I can get the CG right. And that's one of the modifications I did. The other one was with batteries. You see the tape and the little piece of foam so that it presses up in there in the front and doesn't scoot around too much. Put this back in here. Okay, gotta get that adjusted so that my prop won't hit it. There we go. And then, one thing that I noticed when I was trying to assemble the prop is that, or put it on, is that if you assemble it beforehand, it doesn't tend to like to turn when it gets to that end, so you can't really adjust it to see that it gets seated on there properly. So I had to just do it in pieces, like this. Just press them all in there. It's hard to do when I'm holding the camera. Alright, and then just get the spinner on there part way. Trying to think of anything else I can say. You still got guns. They're all one piece on this. On the 1400mm, they were all separate tubes. This is just one piece. It's got a little strip back here. And you just press it in there. I used hot glue because there wasn't much need for epoxy on these. I mean, you just hot glue it in. This one I didn't get the glue hot enough and I didn't get it pressed in all the way, but it's alright. Doesn't bother me. Okay, this is going to be hard for you guys to see, but see where that's shiny? And then back here it's not so shiny. Alright, well I put some just clear packing tape on the front of the wings. I always like to do that because it'll protect your wings in some sort of crash or anything. You're not into anything. It'll dent the foam, but it won't tear it. At least not as likely, unless you really hit it hard. And I did the same thing on the belly. In case I ever decide to belly land it, I'll have some tape there. And there was something else I was going to say. I can't remember what it was. Gluing. Okay. The wing glues in. It's all one piece. There, on this side you can see there's like that little notch where it sticks out, and then on this side it's all just straight across. That's how it seats in. You push the wing in from the right side, and so the left wing half goes in first and you slide it through, and then once you get it all the way in there, it presses up against there and it seats into place where it needs to be. Well, mine was a little bit off and I had to just kind of eyeball it, because if I pressed it in so it was seated all the way, the wing was longer on one side than the other. I didn't really want it to be like that, obviously. Nobody would. And then the elevator, it's two pieces, or horizontal stabilizer, whatever you want to call it. I just call it the elevator because that's what it is to me. It is two pieces and you put it together. This black part right here, this is where it glues together. Well, part of it. I mean, it glues together in the middle here. They touch, but you want to make sure you get glue on this whichever side it was, I don't remember. You want to make sure you do that and get that glued nice, because that's what makes both sides of the elevator move at the same time. There's got to be something else that I'm missing. Oh yeah, I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but gosh, that is hard to see. But there is a little rubber band on that. You could use fuel tubing or whatever you want to use, just something to hold that on there. You could do zip ties, but if you do that, then you can't really get them off. At least not very easily. So I use rubber bands, and it seems to work. Just, you want something to hold those on there, because those aren't the most reliable things ever. They're nice because they're convenient and easy, but they aren't the best at staying on there long term. So you just want to have them held down with something. Keep it on there. Oh, a really nice feature on this that I completely forgot about when I was telling you guys about the landing gear. See this? This is just a little clip. Pop that, and the landing gear comes right off. And that makes it that easy to belly land it. I don't want to belly land it because it's got the 3-bladed prop, and it looks like there's enough clearance, but it's just kind of a risk. I've heard that these props are kind of flimsy. They bend. I don't know how easily they break because I haven't broken them yet. But yeah, you just don't want to, well, at least I don't want to belly land it. I think you'd be alright, but I just don't want to risk it. You've seen my troubles with props. Come on. Eventually I'm going to get this landing gear back in there. There we go. And then you clip it down. And there you go, your landing gear is assembled. Make sure that this little knob thing is pointed to the outside. I think in one of Antonio's videos, I think it was on the 800mm Zero, he had his landing gear on backwards, and it was slanted toward the inside of the plane, so it was like this instead of like that. And that just really, it's not good, because you're going to have more of a chance of tipping it over when you're either taxiing, taking off, landing, whatever. You're going to have a more easy time flipping it over. And yeah, that's my other attempt at trying to make a vent hole. That was stupid because it went through the wing half, for one thing. And I was trying to do it with a screwdriver. Just don't do that. It's just not good. Just don't do it. I'm stupid. You don't need to make my mistakes. My mistakes are dumb. Oh, receiver. This turned into a long video, but this is a receiver. And I put some sticky back Velcro on there and some in there on the side. That way I can Velcro it down, because on a little plane like this especially, you've got a chance of that moving around in flight, and if it does, it'll change your center of gravity, and it could really throw your plane off balance, and it might make you crash. Oh, yeah, see, I didn't really like the pilot that came with this anyway, so that was another reason I cut him out. I think I was going to, whether I had an FPV camera or not. I think I still have him over here. Yeah, here he is. You can see the pilot. You know, he's decent, but he's just kind of goofy looking. And so he was sitting in there, and I just took an X-Acto knife and cut him out. There's like a little circle on the bottom of the canopy. It was real nice. There was a circle right there in the middle of that hole. And I just cut around that circle, and it cut him right out. And then I just pushed on the top of the canopy and pressed him through enough so that I could grab him and pull him through. And yeah, this is one of the best planes that I've ever flown. It's, you know, I wouldn't say it's a beginner plane. It has a really high roll rate, which makes it a lot of fun if you know what you're doing, which I do in flight, just not with landings. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot of fun to fly. It's got a lot of aerobatic characteristics. It's really fun. You can, anything you wanted to do, you could do with this plane, except for a 3D flight. You can't do 3D flight, but that's obvious because it's a warbird. It's not intended to. And got one more thing that I was thinking I was going to say, and now I forgot. Oh, the climb rate on this thing is really good. In one of my FPV flights, you can't really tell in the video, but I just did a straight climb out, and I was going straight up vertical for 7-8 seconds, and it was still going up. It was slowing down, but it was still going up. And so the climb rate on this is really, really good. But anyway, you guys can't hear the battery moving around in there or anything. That the kind of rattling sound was just the control horns on the control surfaces, which screw in, by the way. They're kind of nice like that. I like them that way instead of gluing them on. Although gluing them on, you shouldn't really have a problem, because once you have them on there, there's no reason to take them off unless they break, and I've never had them break. So let's see. I think that's it. If you guys have any questions that I didn't cover, which at this point I doubt, because I've been talking for a good while now. I don't know. The camera doesn't tell me how long. But I've been talking for a while now, and it's been a pretty long video. This is the only damage that came on the plane with the box, or in the box. It's got a little bit of a bend or crinkle on the wing tip here, and that's not good. I don't like that, but it wasn't enough for me to say, hey, I'm going to send this wing back to Nitroplanes and have them send me another one. No, there's no reason for that, because it's going to be fine. I could probably take a hairdryer or something to that and work that out, but at this point I've got enough flights on it and no damage. I feel like it's flying pretty good, so I didn't have to do much trim to it out of the box. A little bit of elevator trim, but that was it, because the rudder and everything, oh, that was a really nice thing about the rudder, is this control horn right here, it's already on there. And the vertical stabilizer, it's already on there as well. It's just one piece. The fuselage, it's one piece. And this is even connected to it, all of this. And the only thing you need to put on is the elevator and the wing, and then your little guns and the fake antenna here. Put the prop on and you're good to go. So, I guess that's it, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I would really recommend this plane. Anybody that thinks they can fly an airplane, well, no, anybody that knows they can fly an airplane with ailerons, like as in you've done it before, this plane should be fine for you. Just be ready for, it's pretty sensitive on the control surfaces. Its roll rate is really high. I think I mentioned that earlier. But it's a lot of fun to fly. And then this is my little Boeing 787 desktop model. It's just a toy. It's just like a rollback toy. You roll it back and then it goes forward. So it's, you know, it's kind of cheesy. It did make sounds, but I took that off. I took the batteries out because it was really annoying. But I had like it's not an interview, but I talked with people from Boeing about getting an internship maybe in the future. And since I'm in mechanical engineering, hopefully I can end up working for some sort of airplane company, because it's kind of a passion of mine. And so I'd like to work for Boeing or any of those companies, really. I like Boeing because I think some of their airplanes are cool. I mean, even like the B-2 bomber, that's one of my favorite planes. That thing is cool. But anyway, enough jabber, because I've been talking for a long time now. Camera's probably getting mad at me, running out of batteries or something. But yeah, there's your P-47. A lot of detail, very good plane, very fun to fly. And that's all I have to say about that. Wow, that was a Forrest Gump quote right there. Hey.